Welcome back to episode 3 of the Personal Foul Podcast, where we get personal and potentially foul. We got the fellas here. Nikki, how you doing, babe?
Doing great, baby. Let's get it.
Logan, how you feeling?
Living the life, man.
All right, and Cam, how we doing?
Feeling great to be back.
All right, fellas. I'm happy to be back. We've had a long week. Big weekend coming up this weekend with spring break. Excited for it. We're all taking a trip to the best vacation spot in the country, I believe, South Bend, Indiana. So it'll be a fun one. My eyes are going crazy right now trying to watch all you guys, so I'm going to just open up Logan and Cam so I can look at you guys and talk to you guys, and my eyes don't look like I'm freaking out. But we're going to talk about some free agency moves that have happened already, that we talked about, we discussed, and then we're going to get into some combine talk, and then we're going to just talk about what we've been doing football-wise. You know, this football show, let's get personal within what we do because, you know, we kind of talk football. We don't talk about what we do as we all play. Schmitty will not be here tonight. He had some stuff going on, couldn't make it, so it's a perfect time to just talk about our experience, what we've been doing. So anybody want to get us started with some free agency moves that we've seen that have been made?
Yeah, I'll start it. Mike Evans, signing back with Tampa Bay. I was really hoping he was, Kansas City was going to make a splash, but I don't know. Good for him. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. Yeah, dude, for sure. The next one's the best one, But
Jetta, baby.
2 years
back in Tampa Bay.
Pissed. I hope he does not go to. I hope he doesn't go to Kansas City.
They can stay on the market, right? They haven't re-signed him, right?
Who? Baker's still on the market?
Baker.
Yeah, but there's like a lot of rumors going around that he's going to get re-signed, and they're working on a bag for him. So hopefully he gets paid what he deserves. Yeah, for sure. After he balled out last year, I know I'm biased, but that dude balled out.
I respect him. I'll give him the respect he deserves. He definitely played well in the playoffs, especially against Detroit. I thought he really came. He really showed me something I didn't think he had.
Oh, yeah, dude. He was hoopty as hell. Back to talking shit on the field and doing all that Baker Mayfield stuff where he's confident. I mean, it's fun to watch.
Baker.
Yeah, dude, it's I love a revival situation. I mean, would have loved to seen it happen in Cleveland, but obviously didn't. But who's in Michael Pittman? I didn't see the franchise tag come from him. I thought he was going to get paid with how well he's been playing, but they franchise tag him. Last person to be franchise tagged by the Colts was the GOAT, Pat McAfee. So Michael Pittman taking it back, the franchise tag for the Colts. The only other team I think they said hasn't had a franchise tag in that long is like the Eagles in 2012 was the last time they had one. So yeah that's pretty cool.
That's freaking nuts.
Little nerd nugget.
Yeah, I try. But what else, dude? I mean,
we have
free agency's been weird. Like there's been like a lot of talk, but not a lot of moves yet. Everybody seems to be going back, getting franchise tags, stuff like that. Go ahead, Nick.
I mean, we have the Buffalo Bills releasing two of the best defensive players. What was it? Jordan Poyer and Tre'Davious White.
Yeah,
both solid players. I think was still good. But I guess they don't have the money for him.
Yeah, and they only re-signed Taylor Rapp. Like, out of all those guys on the defense, I didn't think that was going to be the first one they'd sign back. But here we are in a world where it is. Re-signed Mitch. They get Mitch Trubisky back. Brought him back. The GOAT, Mitch the Glitch. I mean, we talked about Mitch the Glitch. I think it was last episode when we were talking a little crazy about the Steelers situation. We were bring back Mitch the Glitch. So, he's back in Buffalo. Career backup now, I guess.
And Russell Wilson as well.
Yeah. Russell Wilson. Where do we think Russell Wilson's going to end up? I think this is an odd situation where I have no clue, like no idea where he's going to be.
I don't think he's going to be a starter anywhere.
I don't think so either. I absolutely don't think so.
I think he can be a starter. I think, whoever doesn't get Justin Fields, it's Pittsburgh, it's Atlanta, whoever, one of the teams that doesn't get Justin Fields, I think they're going to pick up him on a cheaper deal. But do you guys see his thank you letter to Denver?
Yeah, like thanking like the cafeteria workers and stuff. Like
he thanked everybody but Sean Payton. He said screw Sean Payton, which I don't blame him. I would do the same thing.
Didn't Sean Payton come in crazy at him? Like right when he got there, he was talking like Russell Wilson had his own office and he like
took it away.
Yeah, just took it, evicted him real quick.
Took away his parking pass.
Yeah, crazy stuff. But yeah, free agency's been fun, but it's I don't really want to talk NFL today. I want to talk about us. So, but we'll get to the Combine. The Combine's a big deal. That'll kind of flow us into what we're going to be talking about. Combine-wise, what do you guys think about the Combine? I think it's been really entertaining. There's always those guys at the Combine that show up that you don't think about in the draft until the Combine. And obviously, one of those guys this year is going to be Xavier Worthy.
Yeah.
A
That run was
4.21.
insane. That was
A
insane.
4.21 is flying.
I almost had that
Insane.
in our combine. I was really close to a 4.21 myself, but
You were. The 5.21 was close to the 4.21. But no, you still probably beat me because didn't you run a sub 5?
yeah, let's say
Yeah,
yeah.
you ran sub 5. I ran like 5.1, so you beat me there. Yeah,
We're both elite athletes.
yeah, it's peak athletic performance here.
Us big fellas, we ran the 20-yard split.
Yeah, that's But what about Joe Milton? I know when Logan was talking to me 2 nights ago about Joe Milton chucking an orange, 100 and some yards, but that bomb he unleashed at the combine, and then shot it in midair too, hit him with the boom.
That was cold.
Dude,
It was cold.
Draft him.
that dude. And then what's up with quarterbacks not running 40s anymore?
Dude, who knows? Or
What was
Caleb
that?
Williams as medical history won't do that.
Yeah, it won't do
Yeah.
anything. Said he's only sending his medical information to teams that are willing to draft him. I think all 32 would be willing to draft him.
Yeah,
but,
I think you should probably get medically cleared to
Yeah.
play your sport. But
some teach their own. But the only quarterback to run was Notre Dame's Sam Hartman. I respect the hustle, but
You
what
look
is
great
going
doing
on?
it.
Yeah, he did look good. He did
you
look good.
Hey, don't forget
Yeah.
about Spencer Rattler. All right, he ran the 42.
Did he? I thought.
He ran a 4.9.
Did he?
Yeah.
Ooh.
I
4.9.
thought. Okay. Spencer Rattler.
Yo, I thought Spencer Rattler was going to be the truth.
Yeah.
Dude.
Watching what was that show? Quarterback show on Netflix.
Yeah, they both were on that show. I thought they both. Dude, when I was in like early high school watching that, I was like, these dudes are him. Like,
These guys are the best football players I've ever seen.
yeah, and then they're kind of just. Sam Hartman had a good year. Spencer Rattler had a good year. I mean, they're both going to the league. Probably, if you get to the combine, you pretty much go to the league. But what the hell? Like, these dudes were supposed to be the end-all, be-all. Sam Hartman coming to Notre Dame, supposed to bring him a national championship. We obviously saw what happened there.
Yeah.
And then Spencer Rattler was supposed to be the truth everywhere he went. And then this year, you're hearing of Spencer Rattler, but he's doing a lot, but he's not like bouncing off the walls for everybody.
Yeah.
But
he's
Nothing
not
nothing
he didn't live up
crazy.
to the hype.
yeah, no,
Definitely
not
did
at
not
all,
live up to the
not at all. Like, because our not last chance, QB1, he was kind of a prick. Like,
Yeah.
like there's no
Yeah, him
nice way
yelling
to
at
put.
backup quarterback.
Yeah, it was kind of a lack for a better word there, but I don't think there was even a thought of a better word. Dude was just rude all the time and just straight up douche. And then he gets to the big leagues and wasn't great. And I just, I love a douche on the football field, but when you're doing it in the locker room and like to people like that, like I don't appreciate that kind of stuff. Like,
Yeah, it's one thing to joke around, but it's another
Yeah.
to be like an asshole.
yeah, no, that's awful. But so let's talk about what we've been doing, fellas. I think this is where we kind of can talk about how our beginning of spring football has started, as it's been not slow, but we haven't been in pads, obviously. No footballs yet. Can't touch the football. But we've been working, and next 2 days off. Shout out Coach Benny for that one.
Yeah,
I
for
know
real.
he'll be watching. I'm hopefully on his TV right now, Coach Benny. That one's for you, buddy. 2 days off, going into spring break. Thank you very much. I will be at one of the optional lifts in the next 2 days. Not both of them, one of them. But how do you guys feel about how spring balls went so far? Well, spring like workouts and stuff.
Definitely a change.
Yeah.
It's definitely different from like past years that we've been here for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the whole situation with the combine, us having our own combine, it's
Dude.
never something I've done before, and it kind of doesn't make me look like the best athlete. I can't lie, pretty.
It humbled
bad
all of us
numbers.
real quick. I think
Yeah.
that was the quickest humbling the four of us could have got. Like, obviously, like guys like Logan are gonna show up on the sheet when it comes to like the lifting portion of it. We saw that today with the squats and stuff, where he was just like, "Yeah, I'll do it, whatever," and then smashes 500 pounds like it was nothing. But like,
rolls around on the floor.
yeah, we're just rolling around. But like when it comes to just being an athlete and not having to do it like me and Nick do, just support the squad and boost the morale. Maybe me long snapping a ball into the end zone once in a while.
We know our role, Drew. We know our role, and we're damn good at it.
We look like we've never touched a football before in our lives. Like
Did-
me personally, Nick, you had some good times.
I don't know about good times, but they weren't.
not bad. I
They
ran
weren't
a
terrible.
5'1", 5'10", 5 today. Logan's baking me as I'm running it. Oh my god.
You know, the turf was a little slippery today. It wasn't the best condition, so you know you have a big excuse.
Turf was a little muddy, the light that the soccer players broke was a little bright, threw me off a little bit. But how are we feeling about it? Like, you guys like the new program we're on? Appreciate it?
Definitely say this is like probably one of the hardest springs I've had. The intensity level too, like in the weight room, and even on the field, like everyone's competitive, everyone's getting after it. Something that this place probably hasn't seen in a little bit, and it's like it's good to know that you're working for something that everyone's on the same page because that's just gonna lead great things in the fall.
Yeah,
absolutely. Shout out to DB and Dez.
Dude, they've been working.
Some strong people, man. I didn't think DB had a minute to hit 500 today, but 180-pound safety, 500 pounds. You don't see that very often.
Dude, DB is in there every day just working. And then the thing I love about DB is he'll let you know he's working too. Like when he smashed that 500 pounds, I think everybody in the whole pack knew he was working today. And I love that about guys like that. Like when you can show that kind of emotion and not get looked at crooked for it, when you got the whole team supporting you through the whole thing. Like today, Logan, like we're juicing him up. He might have been acting a little bit of a fool while doing it, but like he's still getting that same energy. Like he's trying to you know what I'm saying? We're all like giving it back and forth. And I think that's what makes the weight room fun to go to. Like when I wake up at 6, it's not like, damn, man, like we got to go lift again. And we're just kind of moving through the motions. Like we're competing in there and that's fun to do. And yeah, I just want to get your guys' take. Yeah.
To go off of that, like for the past years we've been here, like that's what it's been like, waking up like drowsy, like don't want to do it and shit like that. But like with that new like atmosphere, like we actually want to go and do it.
Something that I brought up with Nick a couple days ago was for the people who aren't doing the best, how would I say this? The people who aren't doing the best when we are out on the field doing like speed work, the jumps, the verticals. Let's do a good human being combine one of these days and see who's the best at that. Because our numbers would jump off the charts. What would you guys think would be something that that could seriously be incorporated to football? Like, at the combine they have like the interview stuff. You don't really see all that conversation, but like somebody like, man, that's a good dude. Like that's a good teammate, a person that you'd want to just kick it with, like locker room guy. Like, because I know that's me personally. I know my role as a locker room guy is just kick it, make sure everybody's like cool with me, get on the field, don't mess it up too bad, and then move on. So like what's something that you guys would incorporate into like a personality combine?
Oh, good question.
Ooh. I think, someone that you could like maybe like a little drink a beer with a teammate,
Dude,
a little one-on-one action.
Who's the best person to just go grab a beer with?
I think that's a good one. If you can sit down, have a couple beers, talk about life, talk about football, talk about whatever you want, and just have genuine good conversation.
Okay.
I think that's a good way to test it.
Yeah, what were y'all thinking over there?
To you, I can.
I was feeling like me, like I got to sit down and like actually talk to people. Like I realized like Marcus the other day, like he wasn't doing all right, and I was like sitting down talking to him, like making sure that he was cool. So like I'd say like the dude that's gonna be there for you, for me.
Yeah, someone that can just check up on somebody, make sure everything's straight. Yeah. What about you, Logan?
I kind of agree with both of them. Like, you just want to get to know, like, how they are as a person outside the field. Because, like, sometimes, people have cliques and everything. But us four, we're pretty mingly throughout the locker room. Like, we'll go find someone and just go mess with them. But, like, that's how you truly get to know people. And so, like, I don't know. I feel like that's, like, probably a good way to add. Just, like, let's talk to them. See what they're like.
Do you guys think that this is like the best like camaraderie that we've had in a while?
I think personally it's like it's the easiest group where you can go up to anybody age-wise. Like you can go from senior to freshman and talk to anybody. Like there's no like you're not getting a crooked look if you're going like say for us since we're the older guys now. A young cat comes up to us and he's like chatting with us. It's not the look at crooked anymore. Like who the hell's this dude? It's what's up? You know what I'm saying? And I think that's a cool part of what we've grown. Like, I think it kind of like, I don't say it starts with us, but like us as the older people, like Logan said, like going around the locker room and just like, we're always messing with somebody, the four of us. Like, that's what we do. no matter where you're at. And I think that makes people comfortable almost when, like, that friendly banter type of thing that we have done. And I just think it spreads. What do you guys think, camaraderie-wise?
Just from like being in the past, like when I first came in, when me and Logan came in, like everyone was low key like douche. Like everyone was trying to like be the dude in the locker room. Like everyone's on their own level. Like we're all on the same plane, it feels like.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, to an extent, you had some guys who were really good to young guys, and then some guys who would just not even glance an eye at you.
Yeah.
But appreciate those guys. But when you have it all together, kind of like we do, like sometimes I don't even know what people's ages are. Like we had this discussion today, me and Nick in the locker room, sitting there on the couch. How old are these guys? What are they doing? Like, where's this? Where's that? Because that doesn't matter anymore. Like that experience, that level of where you're at, playing wise, who you are. It matters who you are and what we're doing. Because we're all just working together, I think.
This is the most bought in I think we've been in a long time, and I think that really shows. And I think, shout out Coach Benny. I think he's come in with a goal, and I think he's really put that goal to. And I think he's really been like working towards that goal, and I think it's been working. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I'd probably say like even the Friday night lifts, working out at midnight, that really brought every group together, regardless if they were in your team or whatnot. But no, I think like just competing against one another, also like pushing each other. It was a great thing to bring everyone together.
Yeah, I agree on that too, because like the Friday night lifts for me, it's like you're mentally battling yourself through those things. Like you got to stay up because like I know we're not going to bed at midnight on a Friday night. That's just us.
Yeah.
But like that mental battle of like, oh shit, I got to be ready to go at midnight, like work out. That's some of the mental battle too. And then you get there and you're like, oh, what's Burns going to put me through today? What's he going to, like, is he going to be on that, like, if Coach Burns is on that tire today, good luck, because you're going to have a long Friday night, and you're going to be feeling that till Saturday, and late into Saturday, too. But
into Sunday, man.
Not only that, the freaking weight room. I mean,
that's been brutal.
Rough. Yeah, I'm not built for crunches and planks and all that stuff.
4 7-minute stations. Dude, it doesn't sound terrible until you start doing it.
Till we're planking all day, I'm like, dude, I can't do a plank for a minute, and then you got me down there for 2. I'm like, I can't breathe. I look over at Cam at one point. I thought he was gone with me. I thought we were both going to get sent away. I'm like, what are we? Man, we're like.
It was rough. I'm not going to lie.
It's tough. But I think, like we said, this, like, team has come together, and, like, everybody's kind of seen it now. Awful to say, but it kind of weeded people out with the turn of the semester. I think it does every year for us that you see it. It weeds the people out who aren't bought in. They go wherever. They hit the ever so famous from Coach Benny NAI transfer portal. And, and then there's the people that stay. And I think it's cool because in the spring, obviously we've all been through a spring, like football, padded up and everything. Everybody's getting reps. You're not running just the starting offense at all times. Everybody's getting a little tick. And I think you find out, like, who's bought in and who's doing what. Like, you might see me tote the pill. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Like,
little outside zone for Drew Mason.
Hell yeah.
One-handed slip screen catch.
Hey, I'm telling you, I'm a spring football merchant. Give me my couple carries a game. Carries not even close to that. Drew plays football still? All right, cool. Cool. He puts on the pad sometimes. Yeah, I'm there. But no, I think that's what I appreciate about spring, though, is you get to see those dudes who are just hustling on scout team every day, get to go in and get like quality reps of something that they've been working and learning. And that's what I appreciate about spring ball. What do you guys think?
No, I feel that way. And like, especially during spring ball, a lot of those younger guys that didn't touch the field, like the spring is what honestly gets them to the field in the fall. Like, either if it's special teams, or offensive defense.
Yeah.
Special teams is always a great way to get on the field. And I highly recommend it for everybody. Like, ball out during spring ball. Work your way up. Gain coach's trust. Don't slack over summer. And you're going to be in good hands. You're going to touch the field, get playing time. And then that just leads to another thing. Like, you could be starting.
Yeah, absolutely. What do you think, Nick?
I think, my main takeaway from spring ball is that it's fun. It's competitive.
Yeah, it's so fun.
It's fun. You're waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning, go practice at 6 o'clock when it's 25 degrees out. But, once you get going, it's a ball. It's
Yeah, it's
so
so
much
fun.
fun. You guys are working, but you still kind of, laughing, joking around. Coach Garth always got something funny to say to somebody.
Yeah.
Coach Burns the same way. It's fun. It's competitive. A little true blood action might get in a
Mm-hmm.
tiny scuffle.
Where boys become men.
Yeah.
Literally.
No, I agree with that, Nick. I didn't even really think about that. Like the fun side of it is there, like, because you're competing, but you're not game planning. You're learning your own stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're not scheming and worrying about who you're playing this week, watching film on another team. It's just us versus us, and I think that helps us a lot to appreciate it a little bit. And it is a lot of fun because, like, when I go up against you in the spring, Nick, and I run your ass into the ground, I'm probably gonna give you a little shit for it, and like vice versa. You come at me, knock my head off, like I'm
We're gonna talk a little,
Yeah.
shit back and forth. That's all.
And
I mean, it's not personal. It's fun.
it's fun.
cool.
Yes. No, but that kind of goes into what I was going to talk about. We have two great guests that are going to be on this episode with us. We're going to have Coach Grant Garth from William Penn, and then Coach Matt Byers, who's going to be also from William Penn, two of our William Penn football coaches. I'm going to talk to Coach Garth a little bit about his concept of spring, what he thinks goes into it, and then with Coach Byers is what I'm going to do with him. I'm going to talk to him about kind of the recruiting process because obviously he was recruited to go to school at Iowa University, and then he's now a recruiter for us. So what I want to ask you guys about is the recruiting process here. We all went through it, and it's obviously changed a ton with the staff and the people and facilities and all these different things, scheme-wise, everything. But, what's something when you came to William Penn that, I've said again, 20 times this episode already in this 5 seconds. But what's something you guys appreciated about William Penn when you came on your visit?
I think they really try to give people it's not just about football. It's also about what are you planning to do with your life after football. And they didn't technically have what I wanted to do in life, but they had plenty of options. They have one of the best nursing programs. They have a good teaching program. They have a lot of broad, majors for people to take, and that's a big focus on, at least for my visit was a big they took us into a separate area. It was if you're a business major, you go here. If you're nursing, you go here. It was a really it wasn't just all about football. It was about, when you come here, you're going to have to be in the classroom. And here's some of your teachers and stuff. And I thought, that was kind of an important thing because you are here to get an education. So I thought that was pretty important.
Yeah. What about y'all?
I would say for me is when I came on my visit, they were I was with my mom, and they were keeping my mom in the loop of everything, making her feel like she was her son's welcomed.
Yeah.
They try to make that bond, and it worked.
What about you, Logan?
I'd probably have to agree with Nick. When me and Cam took the same visit day, they kind of broke us up by major, and you got to meet with the head person of that department, and I had no idea what I wanted to do. I didn't know if I wanted to do business, if I wanted to be a teacher, and so I was able to experience both of those, and you get to figure out what classes you have to take. You get to learn about how many credit hours you think you should take, try to help you, and I think that's the biggest thing for high schoolers to understand is understand what you have to do in order to be where you want to be. And I think that was a great thing William Penn did was talk to us about, okay, you're going to have to take your gen eds, and then we're going to put you in these classes. You're going to get your degree.
Yeah, so you guys went with the very nice answers, and I like that. I'll be the one to be the dick about my answer. Mine was all scheme and money. I'll be real honest about it. I came in, triple option was my thing. I excelled at it in high school. That's what they ran here. I had a really good connection with Coach Half when he came in. Obviously, he's not here anymore, but he was really on top of things, I'd say. And I feel like that's what brought me here. And then money talks, let's be honest.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
But so triple option and the money for me. But then for me personally, I've been moving around positions, changing coaches every year. I still have that, this is home to me. obviously I had the experience where I left for a little bit, and it was like, nah, this ain't for me. I got to go back to where I know I'm going to have my most success. So I come back here. Everybody welcomes me back in with open arms, and it's just the appreciation that you get, I think, from everybody here, like on all levels. And that's what makes it cool, because like you can be in a classroom with 10 people in that thing, and you're just talking to the teacher one-on-one, and sometimes you can even call them by the first name and they don't even blink at you.
Yeah.
Like, that's real. Like, you're not friends, but you have a relationship to the point where you can communicate and say what you need to say to get what you need done. And then, like, on the football field, you kind of get that experience too. Like, I don't know how it is at the upper levels, but I'm sure, like, I don't know if players are going up to Nick Saban giving him daps in the middle of the day, just because they want to go chit chat with the coach. But like, we have that ability to go like talk to our head coach if we wanted to, and just like bring something to his attention if we really needed to. And he's one call away at all times, and he always says that to us. So I feel like that's also cool about William Penn. What's something that you guys, obviously we're going to talk about William Penn. That's what we know about. Something you wish that you would have had on your visit, like that you see now, because we've seen the visits become super nice from what we've seen. I mean, we've all done the player panel, and they're getting treated good. And what's something that you wish you could have had experience that they're experiencing now on visits?
I think, it's really not like everybody gets to do it, but I really would like to see like a spring game, see like the players in action. Not all the visits get to see a spring game, but I think seeing a spring game would have been really cool. Get to see, some of the players, how college football is, because, no matter what level you're at, it is a different game. No one really sucks in college. No one sucks. So I think, being able to see the speed difference, the physicality, how much bigger, you got people like Harlan on your team, I think just seeing a spring game would have been really cool.
Yeah. What about you guys?
I think for me, it would probably been like a practice or what the weight room looked like. Like coming out of high school, we were probably all the strongest, in your school. And then you come here and you're going to get humbled by a lot of people. And so, like,
Quick.
I think that was probably one of the things that I wish I would have seen at the time. Because, like, now we got people that are here on Midnight Lifts that are recruits watching us. And I think that's, like, a good eye-opener to them to know what they're getting themselves into.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I was humbled very quickly when I got to William Penn. I came out of high school thinking I was the man still, and I could do this, that, and the third. And then I stepped into my first meeting with all the newcomers, and Harlan Plummer sat down next to me. And I was like, yeah, I might be ready to go home. This football stuff ain't for
What is this guy?
what is this, and where did he come from? What's he doing here? Because he sat down next to me. And then my roommate freshman year was Cole Gallagher, who was 6'8", 350 pounds, whatever he was, 300-some pounds. Dude was massive. And I'm 5'5", 180 pounds coming out of high school. I was like, Mama, I might need picked up tomorrow, because this might not be it. But, we all stuck around, and it's been a while, boys. We've been here a long time. We got to experience a lot with what the highs, the lows of William Penn, and something that we never really talked about, like, what keeps y'all here? Like, I know we talk every day, maybe too much, maybe overshare, but I don't know if we've ever touched on this. What's kept y'all here?
For me, it'd probably have to be just the people. And also, like, especially now with how old I am, I just want to get my degree, start my life after this. But I think the main thing was just, like, having teammates that I could build a relationship with that I knew were going to stay. We're both on the same page. We want to win. And I don't know. I think for me, it's the people.
Yeah.
No matter what. And even coaches, I mean, we don't probably have the same ones now than I did 4 years ago. But building a relationship with a coach, helping, like, they almost become your new parent, because you see them every day.
For real.
And it's like they help you, in and out, what to do at school. They help you get tutoring, little life hacks. But, yeah, definitely the people here at William Penn. I mean, it's only a town of 15,000 people. There's not much to do. We got a Walmart, a Hy-Vee, and 4 fast food restaurants.
Hey,
So-
and the tap. Shout out to Tap.
and Rock
Shout
on
out to
Tap.
Tat.
Shout out to Tap.
But yeah, I mean, it's definitely the people that keep me here, and I just build really good relationships that I know are gonna last me a lifetime. And I know that if I ever need something, I can call them. They're gonna pick up right away and be there for me.
Yeah, for sure. What about you guys?
Honestly, my freshman year was kind of a struggle. I'm not gonna lie. Just to, like, being away from home, I was kind of a turtle. I was staying in my room a lot, and once I kind of got out of my shell and started, I made friends with you guys, made friends with other people around the team, kind of got out. I realized this place isn't that bad.
Mm-hmm.
It is what you make it. But going back to what Logan said, the people, I made a lot of friends here. You three, going to be my friends for life.
Yeah, for sure.
And again with the coaches and just, I really want to. I have a hard time with change as well. So I thought, going somewhere else would also be kind of scary, and this place was really familiar. But I mean, I stayed here, and I don't regret it one bit. I don't regret it. And I, made friends, met a lot of cool people, a lot of cool coaches, and I'm happy I'm here.
Hell yeah. What about you, Cammy?
I'd say like all of that combined, like I came in like everyone else, like away from home, homesick, but like I made those bonds with people like us three, all four of us, like all you guys, like it's just the bonds I made, the people I met, like I don't know.
Like, give us
Like
a like. Give us a like.
Like us three,
Yeah, like us
four
four.
of us,
Yeah,
three
four
of
of
us. I
All
like
of us
Cammy.
together.
All this combined.
Hey, it's rough weekend midterms, fellas. Come on.
Yeah,
True that, true
The
that.
brain
Fair,
is being.
fair.
No, keep going, Cam. I'm sorry. I had to get a laugh out there.
Rough weekend finals or
Yep.
midterms, whatever you want
No,
to
but
call it.
so the people, man, keep going, man. Keep talking.
But like, I just never want to like leave because like I'm scared of change
Yeah.
and the relationships with coaches and yeah,
Yeah.
about it.
Cam, that's what I appreciate about you, man. We can grill you for something. They can still be laughing. You're right back to it. It don't matter. You just wear that on the chin, laugh it off, and keep going. I appreciate you for that. But
Hey, Drew,
what?
you gotta tell us about why you left.
Why
Like,
I
what
left?
was it? Yeah, what was it like? What made you want to come back? You're the one who
Okay.
left and came back.
Yeah. Okay. So I left, and damn, you guys haven't asked me a question, and I'm on the spot now. But
Yeah.
so when I left, I thought the grass was so much greener on the other side. I thought I was so far from home, and just being away from home. Cam, come on, bro.
What? Bro, that's why you should have had the chair. My
Dirty
gosh.
bubble.
Bro, SpongeBob, Patrick.
That is
Lord.
crazy.
That is
Wow.
wild. That is wild.
Wow.
Okay.
Back to what? Okay, so no. I'm going to just start all over. Cam, don't move. Still. Don't roll your eyes. Come on now. But no. So I thought the grass was so much greener on the other side. Turned out it wasn't at all. I went home, tried to make something shake, and nothing shook whatsoever. I thought I was going to go home and pick up right where I left off with the same degree I had, same thing I had going on. Turns out the school I ended up going to didn't have the degree I wanted. I pursued a business degree. I don't care for business whatsoever. I attended one class in the 2 weeks I was there. And then, by the grace of God, I got a hold of Coach Mayer and was like, hey, man, this ain't working. Do you think I could still get enrolled at William Penn for the semester? Because I got to get my life back because I was working dang near full time at a bar in town, just bored, doing nothing.
Were you the Bud Light man then?
No, I was still at Wings Etc. then.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Post lost finger. So
Oh, yeah.
down half a thumb, down bad, no football, nobody at home because everybody else is at school. And I was like, luckily Coach Mayer I gave Coach Mayer a call. He heard me out and I was like, hey man, I just kind of need my life back because it kind of got off track there for a little bit. And Coach Benny talked to me, and then I was back. And I can't thank them enough for giving me that second chance at kind of the opportunity to go to college because there was no chance I was going to stick it out if I was still at home. So, yeah, man, the people keep me here. The people brought me back. and just those relationships you build, and that'll probably last forever, man. That's what keeps you around, for sure. Yeah. Anybody else want to ask some questions, man? That was nice. I threw me off a little bit. Got me talking all crazy about life and stuff.
Yeah, I got some for all of us.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
As we go into spring ball, what's your goal for this year? You know, it's all over last year.
Mm-hmm.
What is your goal for the spring ball season that takes you into fall?
Okay.
I'll start first, man. You know, it's my 4th year. I haven't really played much. You know, special teams weapon, Drew and I.
Mm-hmm.
But I really want to see the field. It's my last chance to play football. I've been working my butt off this off season. I have a goal that I want to play, and talking to Coach Garth a little bit. You know, he says he can see it happen, and I just want to play ball and be with the fellas, get a little playing time. You know, I know my role. I know I'm not going to be a starter. I'm not going to be an All-American. Just want to see the field a little bit, and I think I'm on the right track, and I've been putting myself on the right track to get there.
Yeah, I can kind of bounce off that with the same kind of thing. I'm kind of in the same spot as Nick. Haven't played much. We've seen the field, but not in like a serious situation. You know what I mean? Like special teams, stuff like that. But maybe not as much as Nick. Like see the field. Like I'm a long snapper. I play a little running back here and there. I guess part-time you could call it, because I'm more of I try to focus on long snap because I'm not great at it, but just kind of figure out where I fit in football wise. Obviously I know my role on the team is to, you know, be the guy who's just keeping stuff upbeat, but I'm kind of tired of the courtesy claps when I do make something happen on the field, and I just kind of want to I think that's the goal, is so like maybe show some guys on the team that I don't deserve the courtesy clap when I make a catch in warm up. Like I'm tired of that. So, you know, just maybe turn that around. Show people that I wasn't here to fill a roster spot. I actually know how to play a little football and go from there.
No, I agree with that. You guys both have been grinding. Grinding. I mean, Drew, you're in my group when we do those Friday night lifts, and obviously Cam and Nick are on the opposing team. But you know, I see both of you guys way ahead than where you were last year. And, you know, that's always something that coach wants, and that's something that you want, even as a teammate, is that you just see each other push each other to your limit, and, you know, everything falls in place and you succeed.
Yeah, for sure.
What
about you, Cam?
Really just trying to, like, work on my craft. Like, I've noticed, like, past couple years, I've kind of, like, went downhill after I got injured. Like, I want to gain that confidence back that I had before my injuries.
Yeah. I hear you.
All conference selection from Cam Carnes?
Cam, you getting back on the all-conference list, babe?
That's the plan. But
yeah,
most importantly, like, I just want to win more games. Like, we've had so many droughts of seasons. Like, I just want one winning season before I leave to have those young guys make something happen after us, you know?
Yeah, for sure. And Logan, why don't you answer your own question? I think that was a great question.
You know, something for me is that everyone makes mistakes, and it's obviously the little ones that are like almost a changing point. You know, like Cam said, work on my craft, but also just to be a great teammate as well. Because I know the spring practices, I mean, waking up at 5:45, bashing your head into someone's not always fun. And I feel like energy is going to be a big thing, and I need to work on that. And just, you know, I want everyone to have fun, but also compete. So, I don't know. I just kind of want to be the dude that keeps everything together, but also pushes each other. But at the same time, better myself, so that way we can go out and win some more games next season.
Yeah.
Any like personal goals, Logan? Like no snap infractions this year, maybe?
Yeah, no. That's what I was gonna ask. Something similar to that. Yeah, go ahead.
You know, I think I had 2 snap infractions, maybe 3 or 4. Who knows? Definitely want to minimize the penalties, and you know, I don't really get too many holding calls. Hopefully, the NAIA doesn't reach out and watch this video of us, but obviously, minimize the mistakes that I make. And, you know, personal goal, obviously, first team all conference, that's what I want to get to. And potentially All-American, but that is a very extreme and high award that takes everything you got every day. And I'm ready for the challenge, and I know Cam is too. Cam's been waiting on this, and I just wanted to see us both at the top at the end of the day.
Yeah, for sure. Something to bounce off of that. This has been kind of more serious episode, fellas, and I really appreciate that. We've all kind of not gotten to the sentimental stuff, but kind of have. And this is another one for you guys that kind of like might make you think a little bit. You guys have been at pretty much the top for a college football player. You guys have been all conference guys, and me and Nick have got to see it from you guys. And as a friend, as a teammate, it's fun, dude. Like
It's
me
awesome.
me and Nick get to sit there and. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, we're talking shit when you guys mess up. But when you guys are doing great, we're having more fun than when you got, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
we get to, so when you guys man, I keep saying and it's making me seem like a bot. But you guys been at the top. How do you keep it there? Because year in and year out, you guys have been playing, starting for our team, and what keeps you there? Because once you hit the top, some people kind of like sputter out almost and don't want to keep that push and that everything. But like, what keeps you guys wanting to stay? Is it just wanting to stay at the top, or is it what's happening there?
I'd say I just want to produce for the team. Like, I'm more of like for the team guy than for myself. And if I don't play good, like, we're getting sacked or we're losing yards on a run. Like, it's more for the team for me. And where
Yeah.
I come from, like, I come from like a powerhouse in Cincinnati. Like, you don't lay down the throttle. Like, you keep going. Like, you keep pushing until that last whistle or last game or whatever.
Yeah, Cam, that was a very teammate grade positive answer. If we're going in 2K reference, you might have got some VC for that one, man. That was a really good answer.
Appreciate that.
Logan, what do you
Thank
think,
you.
man? Yeah, Logan, what do you think?
For me, it's just never be complacent. And
Mhm.
like you always think about it like I don't know. I always see it as every day is a competition. You are replaceable anywhere you go. Work, football, school. There's always going to be someone that takes your spot. And so I think keeping the same mindset of just I'm not going to get beat. I'm not going to let this happen. I think that's what helps keep the consistency. And also when you see like your other teammates that get higher accolades, you want to be that guy. And so I think that's what pushes me inside to want to be better. And, I'm a 5'10", 5'11" on a good day, center in NAIA. And it's not, the competition level here, the Heart of America is, oh my gosh, it's
the
nuts.
best. It's
Yeah,
the best
like-
in the land.
So,
Yeah.
I don't know, you always just got to think about like how to be better each day, regardless. And you want to win no matter what. And that like Coach Matt says, no other team in the conference is working out at midnight.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're doing those workouts, you want to gain something from it. You don't want to
Yeah.
just show up and go through the motion. And I think that's what helps you keep building yourself being better is just work on your craft and always having that mindset that you are replaceable no matter what.
Yeah. One last question before we get into like a more fun conversation I want to have with you guys. During this spring, what's one thing on the field? I know we kind of talk about completely that we'd want to work on. What's one thing on the field, football wise, that we can control in our abilities that you'd want to happen in the spring that you got better at and you put a lot of effort towards? Why are you laughing?
Because I was going to say, hopefully I get to throw a touchdown in the spring bowl,
Okay.
Or maybe catch one in the end zone for a 2-point conversion. I think that
Okay.
would be fun. But,
Big man Tutty.
yeah, I don't know. I just want to see us all have fun.
Yeah.
Fun is, when it's fun, it's just, it makes life so much easier. So I'm just going to say, I just want to see us all have fun. I mean, it's our last go around.
Yeah,
We got
for
nothing
real.
to freaking lose.
Yeah, what about you guys?
I think for me, I think I'm confident in my abilities. I know that I'm my best. There's not a whole lot of people better than me, and I feel that to my core. And I think these past few, the past 2 seasons, I've kind of let distractions and everything else go around. Worried about what am I going to do on the weekend, stuff like that. And like I said, I'm confident in my abilities, and I know I'm my best I'm a damn good football player, and I really want to show that to all my coaches and my teammates that, I'm more than, a morale, funny guy that, goes to workouts and has a good time, but I want to show that I can play football, and I deserve to be here.
Hell yeah, Nick. Talk to me. What about you, Cam? What's one thing you'd want to work on football-wise?
It's my last year. I just want to make it one last ride, one last dance, get that first team all conference, work into the fall, work on the craft, like I said before. Like, don't want to get complacent.
Yeah. Something that, for me, that I'd want to work on football-wise in the spring is obviously long snapping, getting that confidence up. In the beginning, I kind of had the confidence throughout fall practice and stuff, and then we had that first game where I made that big mistake, We all remember it pretty well probably, and then the confidence was shot. So I think just something I got to work on is the confidence there and that, and figure that out to where I can be successful when I go out there and know I'm going to be successful. But I'm tired of the real serious conversation stuff. We got spring break coming up, boys, and I am fired up for it. I don't know how you guys are feeling about spring break, but I am juiced that we're all still going to be together for spring break, and we are going to burn it down. Almost use some foul language there, but we're going to burn it down.
What's our goals for the break, guys? We have any set goals that we want to do?
Let's keep this appropriate as possible. Our mamas are probably going to see this, so what are we thinking, boys? I have some for sure.
I really just want to go see Notre Dame, like locker room. I was kind of jealous that Nick and Joey got to see it.
Yeah.
But obviously, life isn't forever. I really just had the best time of my life. Forget about school, forget about football. For 1 week, just go chill with the boys, make a memory. But I don't really have a goal in mind. It's not like I'm gonna be doing too much of a crazy thing. Maybe a little pickleball. Play a little pickleball.
That'd be fun.
That's my goal. Play a little pickleball because I've never done it before. I want to get a little competitive. But,
okay. Yeah, we can definitely play some pickleball. That sounds like a good time. What about you, Cam?
I just want to have a good time with the boys. Like, I have no goals. I want to
You're
get
lying.
Come on.
Cut the cap.
You told us your goals, but
It's not PG. Not PG.
Cam's goal was to hit the town and have a little too much fun. And I'll bounce off it. I think my goal is to do that also. Go out and burn it down. And I want to hit some new places because you guys have all three been home with me, and there's some places that we haven't hit. And I really want to take it into the city, hit Chicago for a little bit, see what there is to explore. I know when me and Nick went to Chicago together, we just hit the Cubs game and then a couple pubs around the stadium. But I'd really like to maybe get in the nitty-gritty, some small places that you wouldn't read about on, on paper. And I think that's the goal, is just figure some stuff out that we might be able to enjoy another time.
Yeah, and, kind of all three what you said is my goal. I'd really like to go to, Chicago Red Wings game. I think I've never seen a hockey game, so I think that would be Blackhawks.
There you go. I was going to correct you.
My apologies.
Yeah,
Blackhawks.
No. Yeah, for sure.
See a hockey game, and like I said before, I kind of get it in my shell sometimes. So when we go out, maybe make a new friend that I may not never see again, but I have a friend every time I go back to South Bend.
Yeah. Spring break wise, fellas, what can we? I'm so excited. I can't stop thinking about it. I keep saying and it's really bothering me because I can hear myself through my headphones this episode, and I keep hearing myself say and it's starting to piss me off. But something I am juiced for is just the car rides, because I know the conversation gets crazy when we get bored. I know for a fact that is true. I'm actually contactless and glassesless for this drive home, so it's going to be an experience, boys.
Don't say that driving my car.
We are going to be in for one.
Don't say that.
No, we're going to be good. I can see you right here.
Drew, but I don't want to call you out here, but last time we were in the outskirts of Chicago, we almost totaled my car. So I rather, I trust you, but let's have some confidence. Please.
Worst case, don't forget Cam to drive.
No,
No,
absolutely
Cam,
not.
If we gotta take shifts, I'll drive, Drew drive, Logan drives.
No.
But
No, but no. When I almost told your car, it was partially my fault. It wasn't. Don't put it all on me. Traffic was ridiculous. Oh, you're talking when I almost rear-ended the person.
when we were at a red light, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that one's on me. I'll wear that one. That was the only mistake I made in 8 hours of driving. Come on now. One mistake.
It was almost a big one.
Almost.
Yeah, speaking of the rides, 2 years ago, me and Cam went. The tire blew up. We're just outside of.
I got punched in the back of the head.
Yeah, we're just outside of a little small town in Iowa, and I wake up and ask if we're there yet. We're on the side of the highway. See Sham
Marvin's room.
See Sham open the door of your car and almost get taken off by a semi.
Definitely some experiences, boys, and I'm excited to have more. Excited to see the fellas out in Mishawaka, Indiana. I know we are probably going to be tagging along with Luva a lot over spring break. You know, that's the boy over in Mish. Hang out with him every day. So I know he likes hanging out with you guys every time you guys have came. He's been there every day. So it's probably not going to change, and I'm excited for it, fellas.
I'm excited for, a little beer with Randog and some Minna cooking, man.
Dude, you're telling me. You're telling me. My dad's got the small pub membership back, so we can go shut it down, and I'm juiced. Maybe play a little billiards, too, you know? There's nothing better than a cheap brew and billiards with Randog, so I'm excited for that, fellas. I think that's a great episode. We're just at about over 50 minutes. We're going to be bringing you guys interviews with Coach Grant Garth and then interviews with Coach, why am I thinking about this? Matt Byers. Why did I have to think? I was thinking, what's his first name? There it is. But we're going to get right into that next, fellas. I really appreciate this episode. It was a really fun one. Our longest recording episode just because it was just the fellas talking. First episode with no script at all. Just shooting the shit. And I really appreciate it, fellas. I hope you guys enjoy this interview. We are here with our first guest of the episode, Coach Garth. How you doing, man?
What's up, Drew? How you doing?
I'm good. I'm excited, man. I'm really juiced to have this conversation with you. We've been talking about doing it for a while. Coach Benny was looking for it, so we're getting him what he wants, and we've been talking about it a lot, so I'm excited to do this.
Whatever the boss man wants.
Yep, whatever the boss wants, we're going to make happen.
Yeah.
How's your day been looking? What's been on the plate for William Penn football today?
Oh, man, lots of film, lots of work. Linebackers got some work on the field today. Spring ball's around the corner. Still recruiting, still grinding.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't stop. You know how it goes.
Yeah. I don't want to really grill you with some questions, but I think I want to get into a couple with you.
Okay.
I know I hit you with some hard ones in class the other day when you came in and spoke to our class, but I'm gonna ask.
Everybody did.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask you some serious ones and then some less serious ones. Just see where you're at.
All right.
Something we talked about over in the main part of our episode with all the fellas on was kind of team camaraderie that we've built at William Penn over the past couple months. What would you say, like, we have the experience where we saw it at an all-time low, and now we're seeing it all come together. What do you think as a coach has made that happen?
I mean, just grinding together, really. I mean, if you really think about it, like, you know, we got here last year late. I got here super late because Benny got here, like, at the beginning of the year, like, almost a year ago to the date, probably about in January or so. And so, you know, you guys really you got to feel each other out. On top of that, like, I don't know who all was left when he got here. But, you know, you bring in a whole new class, and I would say that class is from all over the country. And so you kind of got to figure out who we are and what we know about each other, you know. The older not the older you get, but the older the team gets, the more you're going to learn about each other, who you gel with, honestly, who you don't like, and then how do you make that work as a team. But yeah, I think really it's just grinding together. I mean, you guys are getting up in the morning 5:45. We got the late night lifts at 11. We're hooping together.
Yeah.
Hydration Olympics.
Yeah.
It's a great time. It's a great time. Yeah.
We talked a lot about spring. We talked a lot of football today, just personal wise, some goals we had, some things we want to do. What are some goals that you have right now for spring with either your group or for the team or for yourself?
For the team, I think really just the same thing. Really just keep building that togetherness, learn more about the scheme from a defensive perspective. Like, you know, we kind of installed this defense. I don't want to say last minute, but like we kind of changed some things, kind of getting into it.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we got back in the fall, you know, there were new pieces that hadn't seen the defense at all. We played a lot of freshmen, I would say. And
Yeah.
so now just learning the scheme, figuring out what we're really good at and what we need to improve on and what we want to tweak in there.
Yeah.
From a linebacker perspective, from a group perspective, really just got to figure out who wants to play,
Mm-hmm.
who works well together. I like what we have in our room. We just, at the same time, need to figure out our strengths and weaknesses and then kind of adjust around that. We lost some guys, lost some really good guys. We've added really good guys as well. So I think we're going to be good. And then from a personal standpoint, personally, just keep growing as a coach. I'm a gym rat as a coach, really. Like I'm always constantly working, constantly studying because like I want to be the best. So
Yeah. So just to keep it on kind of the spring flow of things, what's something that you look forward to when springtime comes around? I know as we talked as just football players today, it's how much fun it is because you're not really prepping for a team. You're not really getting your balls busted by coaches all the time. It's serious, but it's not like a game situation type of serious where you're prepping for game week. And that's what we discussed. What's something for you that you like about spring ball that is coming soon?
honestly, competition. Like I mean, you don't get a fair shot in fall. Let's just be honest.
Yeah.
For older guys, like we're gonna know who you are in the spring. If you're like a tweener guy, like you're almost there but you're not there, then you kind of push that into the fall. But for spring ball, truthfully, like truly for spring ball is really the competition because I was actually just talking about this today. Like if you look at every position, it's competition. I don't think there's one position where it's like, okay, this guy's a guy. Like, you know, you go to linebackers competition, D-line competition, O-line competition, and the guys that are comfortable, they aren't going to make it. So, like, you got to kind of bring some fire. Like you said, still be competitive and friendly, but understand, like, you're kind of fighting for something.
Okay. And we really hammered the spring ball conversation, so I'm just gonna try to keep it there as long as I can till I
Come on.
run out of stuff to ask you. But we talked about the combine stuff. Obviously, a couple of the guys that we have on our show, not gonna name any names, it's me actually, are awful at that kind of stuff.
Okay.
My numbers make me look like I've never touched a football field before. But what's something that like we talked about having like a human combine, like just to see who's a decent human being and good at life.
Okay.
And we discussed having like who's somebody you could go out and just kick it with, have a drink with. Who's somebody that can go up and make a friend with anybody? Who's a good teammate? Like that kind of combine, like those kind of competitions. What's something you would incorporate into like that kind of competition?
What's something else? That's a great question. I think it would probably be more on the aspects of like who I don't want to say is the funniest, but who is the more like they have a really just nice sense of humor. You know what I mean? Like you gotta make me laugh, but like you're not like overly weird, but you're not like too nice. You know what I'm saying? Like in the middle. Like that's a good conversation because I mean I think that's what makes even with you guys like our conversation all the time is very like you said natural.
Yeah.
And because it's natural, our relationship is natural. It's very we can talk on a human level, like you said. And so yeah, just like who's very like humorous, but also kind of serious, but also kind of funny at the same time.
Something that I talked about with Nick the other day. This is totally off topic of the interview, but on topic of what we're talking about right now. Having like the older guys do the skits in the spring instead of the younger guys and just let me just go nuts. And then it's like, oh, Drew might not be the best at the combine stuff, but he can grill you. So
I was thinking about that the other day. I was at lifting today and I was like, man, like, cause there's so many freshmen. I'm like, man, like, it's gonna be so funny for them to watch the freshmen next year do the first year.
Yeah.
They're gonna do that. Like, that's a good thought for sure.
Yeah, I thought it'd be funny if like we just had the older guys because people so well now because like guys like us, we've been here so long, you can figure people out quick even if they're new. Just being able to grill them when you're allowed to, and that'd be funny. But what else? There's just so much to talk about spring ball wise that it's just kind of all going over the top of my head right now. Are there certain things you do as a coach that you get fired up for? Like maybe scheme wise, maybe a player's development that you're kind of leading the way for. I'm not gonna grill Nick yet. I'll get that later. But
Man,
is there like stuff like that you're like excites you to coach? Like what brings you in every day? Like little things.
honestly, just development, man. Like the biggest one for me, and this is really true. Like Joey Mars is a great example of it because, like, when Joey came in, it was my first year, like actually having that linebacker room in our previous school, and so I think about it all the time. Like, I watch so much film, I see him, and I'm like, dang, like he actually took that coaching a little bit. I don't know what I've taught him, but I know I've taught him something, and he took a little bit of it, and I see it every time he plays, and so. Being able to develop people, it gets me going. Competing gets me going. Like I'm obsessed with winning, and I'm obsessed with proving myself. I have a big chip on my shoulder. Uh, People call it that fight to flight mode. Like
Yeah.
I'm all about it. So that's what wakes me up. Like when I was younger, I think about this too. When I was younger, like I used to not like pay attention to the week, A Monday, like Mondays for whatever reason for the last like year, Mondays have gotten me going. I'm like, just go attack the week, get it going strong. Yeah, but that satisfaction of winning and then just developing players from a human standpoint and a player standpoint is always good. Seeing that growth.
Yeah. I think talking about Joey's really something I could bounce off of here. He came in the spring when you all did to William Penn, and you could tell quickly that he's kind of like a coach on the field when he's playing.
Right.
And even through spring when it's our guys versus our guys, he's still balls to the wall. He's going to knock you up, punch you in the face. He does not care. He's looking to win all the time.
Exactly.
Is that something that helps you as a coach? I obviously does, but like how much does that help when you got a guy who's like that coaching on the field and just giving you 100% day in and day out?
Well, it's the same thing like we're talking about, like that personable kind of conversations. Like I can go to him and be like, listen, like this is where we are. I don't have to. Some guys you have to kind of pat them on the back. Some guys you have to grill into them. But like with Joey, honestly, you just be honest with him. Like this is what's going on. Like I need you to do this, or you got to do better than that. And it doesn't have to be a lot of yelling or rah rah. You tell him what you need, and he'll do it. And he'll explain kind of what he sees, and then we kind of bounce off ideas. And truthfully, he was a guinea pig, and now he's kind of the standard.
Yeah.
And now I can sit there and be like, okay, like, this is how it looks when you do things the right way. And like you said, you got to play off his strengths and weaknesses. I understand what he lacks, but I also understand what he's strong in. So I kind of try and use both. And last year at William Penn was a little bit different, but that's because, again, we're kind of learning about the conference, and not even about each other. We got to know who we're facing and what we're going against. But like, by the time we were at our last school, we knew what we were going to face. We knew what we were going to see. So we just kind of figured out, okay, what is he really good at? And that's kind of what made that work for us.
Yeah. I like that answer because I appreciate what Joey does as a teammate. He's holding you accountable no matter what you're doing. And I appreciate him for that. But you guys said when obviously you, Coach Benny, Coach Burns, you guys all came to William Penn a year ago. To like right now, actually. And what's like that change like as a coach? Because as a player, you guys have transfers in and out, blah, 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 that kind of stuff. What's it like to move as a coach? I feel like that's going to be a lot more difficult.
It's difficult at times. I have a lot of kind of rules. Like I have kids. So like the biggest thing for me is being within a driving distance of either one of my children. It's a culture shock at Kansas City. I was in Kansas City for 3 years, almost 4. Had a lot of fun there and learned a lot, but I've always told people like I'm a football coach first. So like as long as the job's within reason, I'm not really like some big on like money or anything. Like I said, the development of a coach, and that's really why I appreciate that Coach Benavidez, because like he allows you to be you.
Yeah.
If I want to stay in the office all day, I'm gonna stay in the office. If I want to get there early, I'm gonna get there early, and he's not gonna be on my shoulder like, what are you doing? Why is it done? You get your work done, you can develop. And I'm telling you, as a coach, there are a lot of coaches that don't allow that.
Yeah.
Coaches that are constantly grilling you, constantly making you do something else. So with him, that move was easy because it was like, okay, one, where I was like, okay, I can't be the only one left. Like everybody left me. I'm sitting here by myself. So, it took a while, but when they hit me up, I didn't even visit the school. I was like, yeah, let's make it happen. They kind of explained the vision. I got up here and saw what we had to work with, and I'm like, oh, if we could win at this other place, then we can win here.
Yeah.
And I mean, we won a few games. Obviously, we didn't want to finish where we wanted to, but the start has begun, and I kind of see that turnaround definitely from everybody.
Yeah, and that turnaround is obviously evident to everybody. As we talked about this season, you got tough games that you play. We had one tough game this year that was rough, but the rest, we're right in there every game, and that's something we talked about in class. How we have just developed as a team almost to where it's all come together.
Yeah,
and it's just putting it out there and showing it at all times. And
right.
As players, it's very evident, and what you guys do as coaches is evident, and how much you guys work. But outside of football-wise, how many hours are you putting in a week coaching-wise? I want to get in that work-life balance kind of conversation.
Hours? Man.
Hours. How many? Because I know you guys are working day in, day out.
Okay, I'll give you a great example. So I probably got to morning weight to like 6:05. I was really here till about 4:30, 5 o'clock, so almost a 12-hour day. And then after the fact, like I got home, obviously cleaned up the house a little bit, hung around with Ezra, the youngest, and then really read a little bit of some articles on some coverages, and still working. I mean, so I'd say it's a 12-hour office day, and then it's probably another 3-hour out of office day. Like in season, like don't even get me going with that. Like I understand when I come back to the office that things have to get done. I'd rather get it done before so I don't have to worry about it while I'm here and get other things done while I'm here. So I mean, a week, I mean, it's 60 plus for sure. No overtime pay either. No overtime pay.
Yeah, you mentioned Ezra. All the players love Ezra. And what I want to ask you about is how fun is it to have him around? He's always around us, and I know we have a blast with him. What's that like for you as a dad to see the players interact with him and him interact with us?
I mean, that's my heart for sure. So I appreciate you guys, all the players. I mean, y'all make him feel like a superstar. His confidence is through the roof. A little bit of that is in my blood, but a lot of it's from you guys. Like, I mean, the kid's, he's an awesome kid, and the coaches love him. I mean, he's pretty much a part of the team. He's a coach. He's a 5-year-old player, college student, preschooler. And I mean, and coach, and I'm being honest with you, like he constantly loves being around you guys. He talks about it. I think it's probably my fault, but like football is probably kind of in his blood. I remember him being a baby before he went to bed. We'd be laying down watching Pat Mahomes. We're watching LeBron highlights, Kobe highlights, like all the greats, any greats in any sport we're going to watch. And now like it's emulated, it's in his brain. He's imprinted upon sports. So it's fun being a dad. I've actually been thinking about like what next year looks like and how like, he's at an age where it's like, okay, maybe he can be there during warm-ups and be more active in practices and things like that. But you never know. You never know with him, honestly.
Yeah. I know I got to spend a lot of time with him during the season, me being the long snapper. I'm usually just kicking it, let's be honest. And I got to kick it with him a little bit, and it was a good time.
Yeah.
But no, that work-life balance stuff, obviously you have a son. What is the most difficult part you'd say personally with the work-life balance? You say you're working all the time. And what would you want to fit in more to the life balance outside of work?
It would probably be to relax more. I had someone literally probably 3 hours ago was like you're overworked. You're overworked. I'm like, am I? I'm like, I don't pay attention to it. And I was thinking about it too, but it's like I'm young, and so at some point that'll get better. But for me, I really look at it and just think at the end of the day, it's gonna be worth it at some point in time. People have no idea where I've came from, what I've done to even get this far. Some people do, but a lot of people don't. And so to me, the work-life balance is important, and it's important for everybody. But for me, it's I got huge goals, and it ain't got to be huge steps, but it's if while I'm sleeping, somebody else is working.
Yep.
While they're sleeping, I'm working, and I don't think nothing of it. It's second nature to me. I had 2 great parents in my life, still have them in my life. And so I saw how hard they worked. My dad was a graveyard shift. He worked 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. sun up, sun down. My mom, she worked in the morning. She's getting up at 8 a.m., dropping me off at school, then getting home at 6, cooking dinner. And, just in my family, everyone works hard. So hard work doesn't really stop me or anywhere. I think I just got to learn how to, like you said, just really take time for myself. And I really try and take time for myself, Drew, but then I'm like, man, I can't. Someone's working harder than me, so.
Yeah, I feel that at the same time because, even in school, you get, oh, you're this college football player, blah, blah, blah. Obviously, people think you're only playing football. Right. When you're at William Penn, you're probably going to have a job while you're playing football. There's a lot of us that have a job. I'm also doing this kind of stuff at the same time and then working on my major because I'm at that point where I'm working practicum hours and stuff. And just that relaxed part is just something that you can't really do in college, and you got to try and figure it out when to fill it in. And I feel like that's something that I could work on. As much as I sit around, I'm usually on the computer doing something related to what I'm doing. But yeah, I understand that 100%.
Yeah.
But and also what you said about parents too. I feel like that's really what molds your work ethic.
Right.
And I think I could agree with that. I kind of have that same thing where my parents are just hustlers, man. And when they got to do something. And if you're not hustling, you're not making bread. And no bread, you're hungry. I'll tell you that much.
Gotta get it.
So one of my real serious questions, I've asked you this before and I'll ask you again. You got a player.
Okay.
He's a linebacker, all right?
All right.
He's about 5'9" with a nice doctor, weighs just around 190, 200 pounds.
Okay.
You put him out on the field,
okay,
makes a tackle every time he touches the field.
Uh-huh.
I'm not going to tell you how much he's on the field, but what do you do with a guy like that?
Well, I mean, you see what he can do. You put him out there, you feed him to the wolves. Now, even though he makes a tackle every time, doesn't mean he isn't on the ground. Few of those. And, that might hinder his ability to get on the field sometimes. But, for me as a coach, is he a great person? He's a great person, and he's good for me. He's good in the boat, always.
Yeah, and I feel like the guy we got wearing 42 on Saturday is pretty good, dude. That's my guy, so I'll give him credit for that one.
Funny story. So I do the numbers.
Yep.
And I didn't know he wanted 43. So I gave him 42. And I was like, I didn't know that was such an important number to you. I was one off. It was a funny story. That was funny.
I know he was not happy when he got 42.
He was like, I wanted 43. I was like, why? I didn't know you wanted 43. Who wants that?
I think he's had that. I think he's had 43 since freshman year, and then last year he got 42.
42,
and he was pissed. He was so mad. No, Coach, I really appreciate your time. I don't want to keep you for too long. Anything you want to close us out with? I really appreciate the time you gave me.
Nah, man, I appreciate you always. I love what you're doing. I'm rooting for you. Whatever I can do to help, you can always bring me back on. Funny segments, sad segments.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I always got something to say for you guys. I'm proud of all of y'all. So anything I can do to help, let me know.
I appreciate that, Coach. All right, man. We'll talk soon. I appreciate it, Coach.
Yep, bye.
See ya. All right, we're here with my man, Coach Byers. What's going on? How you feeling?
What's up? Glad to be on the pod.
Yeah, I'm juiced. I'm going to turn on some, it sounds okay. All right, so, Coach, we just talked to Coach Garth about some spring ball stuff. I want to talk to you about some recruiting stuff. Obviously, you were a stellar athlete in college and now coaching, so you got a little idea of what it takes to be a college athlete now that you're coaching in college. So, walk me through what it was like for you just as a college athlete, maybe some accomplishments and what you did.
So my college career, I was going to do football and track. I ended up just doing track through the javelin and was school record holder at Iowa. I think it just got broke this past year, but was probably like 10 plus years. Had the Big Ten record for the javelin, was a 3-time Big Ten champion, 2-time All-American, been to the world championship, or what, not world championship, the world U.S. Nationals, Olympic trials, and then out of high school, I actually made 2 junior USA teams to compete internationally.
Okay, so how do you get into javelin? Because I know in high school, at least in Indiana where I'm from, we didn't have javelin. What kind of brought you to figure that out, that you were going to be successful in that?
My dad's a football coach, and during, I played football and basketball, and I didn't really know what to do in the spring. And I'm not much of a guy that likes to run. So for me, he said, you have two choices. You either figure out something to do in track, or you're not going to just go home and sit home and play video games. So for me, did running. Now I kind of hung out with throwers, started picking up a javelin, and was really just kind of took off from there. My first meet, I sucked. And then by the end of the year, I was making to state championships and throwing far. And then I don't think it really hit me till probably my junior year, where I had one of the best throws in the country. And I was like, oh, this is kind of interesting.
Nice. So obviously successful there. It turns into the recruiting process after that high school success. You're a recruiter here at William Penn. You help recruit some of the guys to help play defense for you. But what was that like for you when you were being recruited? What did that process look like?
Oh man, I think it's a little bit different now. I think one of the big reasons is social media and Twitter has given kids a platform to really kind of advocate for themselves and stuff like that. For me, when I was getting recruited, I don't think it really hit me. Like, you get the generic, back then, instead of text messages or whatever, Twitter messages, you get the mail, and I always get the generic things. And University of Arkansas is calling me, or LSU's calling me, Oklahoma, North Carolina. So I was like, oh, okay, this is getting kind of serious. And I think back then, one thing that always stood out to me was when you're getting all this mail, you kind of want to decipher, is this something that everybody else is getting, or is this specific to me? And University of Iowa stood out to me because my coach, on the letter or the mail that they sent, he wrote a little note in it. And it was something that was directed towards me personally. So from that moment on, they always kind of stood out. Like, okay, this is someplace that actually wants me, and took the time out, he didn't have to write a note, but he took a note in there and just tell me about what he could get me to in coaching, and, and who he was as a coach. And it just kind of always stood out to me. I had Arkansas come up and did a house visit with me and let me try on national championship rings and stuff. And I'm like, man, this is kind of overwhelming at first, because you don't really probably notice it when you're in the moment. But compared to what it is now, it's a little different just for I think, like I said, the Twitter. I mean, you got some people that put fake offers out there, and some people that put, the actual offers itself, and try to get a lot of offers to kind of make themselves look better, maybe try to get something that they want.
Yeah.
So I think nowadays the recruiting is just a little bit different with the Twitter and how often you're having just to communicate with kids, because back then you kind of relied a little bit more on mail and phone calls.
I'll say for myself, at least in the recruiting process, it was very all through Twitter. Everything was Twitter. I'd check my Twitter DMs, and there'd be some Division III coaches in there almost every day, just trying to get you to show up and talk to them. And that's just how it went. I got a couple letters just from schools I visited, like the postcard type things.
Yeah.
But then it was all through Twitter.
Yeah.
But in that transition into coaching for you, what made you decide football over track after all the success in college?
So for me, I always knew I wanted to coach football because my dad was a college coach when I was young, and then was my high school coach. So for me, it's always been on my blood. You kind of see the gratification, I got to see it through my dad, hey, as a coach, you get to change lives, be a mentor, and be there for people, and, just not the football side of things. So I always knew I wanted to do that. Track's a little different. Everybody's so friendly with each other at track meets, whereas football, I'm like, dude, I want to rip your head off. I don't like you at all. It's more intense. So, I always kind of struggled with that a little bit. So for me, getting into coaching, it's all about kind of who you know. And I started coaching in high school with my dad. And then after that, I had a chance to go to college with a guy that I know. So, it's been fun because, when I was young, I thought I knew what I was doing, and I had no idea.
Mm-hmm.
And as, every year you're kind of learning. But yeah, I always knew I wanted to be a coach. And then by no means do I ever feel like I'm going to view myself as super successful. I always kind of want to be humble and keep pushing myself. So, just keep working hard with it.
Yeah, so you talked about how you started coaching young, went from high school to college. Walk me through all the transitions you made as a coach, because I know you came here my sophomore year, and you've been here with us since. So, what did that journey look like to get to William Penn?
So, I started off at Bethel, Kansas. Obviously, they've had a good run these past few years. I'll just say that when you coach small college football, it's kind of about what you want to, it's all about the school and where you are financially. And when we took that job over, it was kind of in a spot that was kind of like teetering a little bit on, what they wanted to do. Then they had kind of like a change, and, they became really successful, and Coach Harrison did a great job there. So after Bethel, I went to Friends University, which was kind of cool for me because that's where my dad coached when I was younger and won championships there. And I grew up there as a baby, like going to games and being in diapers and stuff like that. So a lot of childhood memories. Was there, had great defense, has had some great kids. One of my former players, he plays in the NFL for the Patriots and Jeremiah Farms. And we've had a lot of other standout guys that played there, but just never got the wins like we probably should have. And then obviously come to William Penn, which was I was excited about. I mean, it was a little different for me coming to Oskaloosa from Wichita. I didn't really know what I was getting myself into. But this is a great place, great community, and it feels like home. So for me, like it's always been easy to come here, and the transition, obviously going from being here with Coach Hafner and then now being here with Coach Benavidez, it's been, Coach Haf's a great person, a dear friend of mine, and Coach Benavidez has been an amazing guy to work for and stuff like that. So, it's an awesome place because they care about it. They care about football and they care about you guys as players.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think you guys all feel that, especially with the resources we have here. Making my recruiting pitch.
Yeah.
And then you play in one of the best conferences, and I think that's another thing. Whatever you want to play against the best, and obviously you guys know that this conference is the best, and you're going to play ranked teams usually week in, week out, and so as a coach you look forward to that challenge.
Yeah, so you just kind of brought me into my next question with the recruiting pitch. We talked to Coach Garth earlier about spring ball and what that looks like for him. What does recruiting look like for you? How do you go about that? I kind of want to know the steps it takes to find the guys, because I know that's probably difficult with – you got guys all over the country here at William Penn. How do you pick those guys that you want here, and where do you find them?
Yeah, like you said, you have kind of guys that are all over. I think the one thing, is being organized, and I think that starts from the top down. I think, very first day from Coach Benavidez being here, it's been about being organized with recruiting and having a plan to attack and what you want to do. So like for us, we go to Houston a lot, or we go to Florida because we have, coaches, Coach Burns and Coach Benny have connections in Florida to get these kids. And they've treated those kids that they've had in the past right. So then now those kids are advocates, and, the biggest recruiters are going to be your players or former players, because they're going to tell the kids exactly how it is. And then like Houston, for us, we get a lot of Houston kids because there's direct flights from Houston to Des Moines, which from Houston to Dallas is about a 4-hour trip, and you look at gas and all that, like you could fly up to Iowa and, be here in about 3 hours, as a total trip, and it's pretty good ticket. So we do pretty well with that. And then obviously you can look at your Cali JUCOs, but the big thing is you want to win and get a lot of kids from the state of Iowa. Yeah. That's kind of been our focus as a staff, and Coach Benny's focus is like, hey, we want to be Iowa bred, try to get a lot of Iowa kids, get as many as we can, win at home. And then after that, you're always going to look in the Midwest because it's just blue collar guys. You want to have guys that are, work hard. And then most importantly, that are going to fit your culture. And you have to kind of vet kids, and it can be hard at times when you have to recruit, the mass. You have to recruit a lot of people. So it's always about doing your homework, talking with parents, have parents be involved with the recruiting process, explain to them the financials, because kids might not explain it because they don't understand it.
Yeah.
So have them involved, involve the high school coach, talk to them, find out stuff that's going on with, the kid, academics, because again, a kid's going to sometimes tell you what you want to hear. So it's always important to do that. And I think, like I said, the most important thing is make sure they fit in with you guys because you guys are the ones playing with them. And if they don't fit in, they're usually going to stand out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I know that I've done the player panel once, and it's cool to have those guys like ask questions to you because you get to give them kind of an honest answer that maybe they don't want to hear or maybe they do. I don't know why I said kind of there. You just give them the honesty.
Yeah.
You would give them, maybe they don't like what they hear, but small town Iowa, you're going to have to be friends with who you're with, and that's probably an important part of recruiting. So when you are recruiting, is it separated by coach? Like, is there certain places you guys are like breaking it up? Is there a certain number? What's that look like?
Yeah, so like for us, we do a pretty good job of splitting up Iowa and how we do things, and we're always looking, okay, like what's our biggest return on investment, right? You try to figure out, okay, we're going to separate this way, but does it make sense to have certain coaches in Des Moines versus these areas? And so you're trying to do everything you can to make sure you're spending your time wisely and getting a return on the investment, but also making sure you're covering all your areas as well. And then obviously, when it comes to like maybe JUCO recruiting or when we're evaluating kids, like for us, if we get like a camp list, we tend to evaluate it by position. So each coach kind of evaluates their position. And you kind of just got to figure out when you do that, you got to figure out, okay, this kid's a guy that could come in and be ready right now versus this kid has a lot of potential and has a high ceiling. But he might be a guy that needs to be in the weight room for a year or two. And so you have to really kind of find those kids, and a lot of it could be body measurements. It could be what you see on film. And when you watch film, it's not about just watching the kid. It's about watching like, okay, who's he going against? What's the competition like? If it's not as good, how does he fare against good competition? So you have to kind of always have an eye out for that kind of stuff. But you're always kind of evaluating guys constantly. And I think a lot of it is like, if I like a guy, I'm going to go straight to your Twitter and look at your Twitter.
Yep.
I'm gonna see what you're saying, how you're saying it. Even guys that approach us in Twitter DMs, like how you approach a coach is important because it's a business interview. There's a lot of people that probably hit you up and misspell the basic things, but it's a lot of it is they don't know. And so as a coach, you're always evaluating. You're trying to figure out, if the kid's really good, why is he not being picked up right now? Like, why doesn't he have this offer? Or is it grades? Is it a personality thing? Is there something off the field? So your mind never really stops. And recruiting does take a lot. You're looking at like 20-some kids a day plus. I mean, that's just, just kind of how it is. And when you have to recruit numbers and the mass and a lot of kids, you gotta evaluate, and you always have to think someone else is doing the same thing and trying to get the same kids.
Yeah, for sure. And I just couldn't imagine because I know when Coach Mayer was here, I helped him out a little with watching film and stuff, and it was a pain in the ass. It took forever, and I got tired of it quick. And but when you guys are looking for recruits, I know you guys probably aren't looking for a long snapper because you got a pretty.
No, we are. If anybody watches this podcast, I'm gonna let you know right now we are looking for a long snapper. You need to have somebody come in and compete with Drew Mason. Okay. He's the heartbeat of the special teams. He is a very unique guy and kind of a utility guy. But we still are looking for a long snapper.
Yeah, probably just wasting your time for that kid. But when you're recruiting year in and year out, is there like a certain position, maybe not a need, but just a position you guys like to recruit every year to bring in new people, keep the competition high, just year in and year out? What's the position that you guys like to recruit?
I think, again, everything you do starts from your head man down, and it's always about going to be the trenches. Like if you want to be successful, your O-line and your D-line have to be good. And so those are two areas that we always want to focus on recruiting is like, hey, we're going to make sure we're good up front because it's going to make everything else easier. I coach DBs and in the back end, like if I have dudes up front that can go get sacks, their lives are a lot easier, right? O-line, like if they're just mauling people, the quarterback, running back's job and receivers' jobs are a lot easier. So it's always O-line, D-line. And then when you kind of get out of that, you want to try to find positions of need. Maybe you have to go ahead, like we need to go get a Q or, DB-wise, like I'm a big believer that you always want to go find the best kids at the position that you can, because it's very important that you bring in competition at every spot. Because what happens is, and you know this just as well as anybody being an athlete, if you're a really good guy in the number one, and you know number two is not very good, you can sometimes get away with things or slack off or kind of be a turd because you're like, oh, who you really going to put him in?
Yeah, for
So
sure.
it's always about try to bring in the competition and bring the best in, because you want to push the guys that are been here that have played. You want them pushed and want them looking over their shoulder. So you always try to find position of need is always O-line, D-line. Then you branch out. Okay, what are we looking at receiver? What are we losing? What are we missing? What do we need to go get? Linebacker, like, what did we lose? How do we fill that? Who do we need to go get? And again, so then you kind of go from there. And then you always kind of want to look at, okay, maybe I'm going to get a really good high school kid. Maybe he might be ready right now. Maybe he might be a special teams guy, but still have, okay, we can go get a JUCO guy that's going to, come in and be the guy right now. So you kind of go from there.
Yeah, I kind of had that happen to me where they were like, yeah, this guy's going to come in and play some teams for us. And 4 years later, here I still am playing teams. So,
hey, man, you're the guy. You're unique. You're the heartbeat of the team.
Oh, yeah, that's some would say different. But when you're watching film and you got a player that you really like, what is it that draws your attention on film?
Man, I think, like, positionally for me, and just even overall as a defense, is like, I want a guy that's going to play with intensity and have that fire. So, I mean, obviously, on a huddle clips, I want to see you, if you make a big play, have some energy, have some juice. What's your dedication to the play? Like, if the ball's being, someone got loose, are you running it down? What's your speed like? 'Cause sometimes that helps me evaluate the ability to see, like, can you open up and run, right? Your competitive nature, I'm always looking for that kind of things. But I think technically there's certain things that I look for in a guy, especially like DBs. Does their feet match their mental and what they're thinking? And are they confident in what they're doing? Or are they guessing? Because then it kind of tells me maybe they don't know what's going on. But you always want to make sure guys can tackle, know how to tackle properly, bring their hips, not spearheading and ending up with CTE. Bringing your hips, wrapping up, making plays constantly around the ball. I think those are kind of things you generically look for, and then obviously stuff that stands out, like, being able to make pass breakups, INTs, take a pick for a touchdown. Just certain things, and kind of get the vibe, being able to see like how well you can dominate somebody if you're in one-on-one or whatever it may be. But generically, that's kind of what you want to look for.
Yeah, so going off of that, when you get a guy that you like, you're obviously going to try to get him to come on a visit. When I came on my visit to William Penn, I know it was not what it is now. It was just me, our old fullbacks coach, and then Ben Sherman, the old fullback. And they took a picture of me straight off the iPhone against the brick wall in the coach's locker room. They were like, there you go. Looks good. And I was like, man, this is it. This is a college visit. And I know it's evolved a ton since Coach Benny's been here and you guys have been working with him to do that. And I see you guys in the MTC all the time. What does it look like on a visit for these guys that are coming to check out William Penn?
So, I mean, obviously for us, we utilize MTC because it's obviously it has a lot of technology, a lot of gadgets, a lot of different things. But they have a media room in there so we can take photo shoots. And so what we do is, when a kid shows up, we're going to talk to him, meet him, greet. Usually going to end up in the MTC right after that, let them take pictures, poses, whatever they want to do, have their parents involved with the pictures as well. Usually Coach Chase or Coach Nico, whoever it may be running the visit that day, they're going to take those pictures and kind of get them developed because we'll use them later on in the visit. And then usually once we get done with those pictures, we're going to walk the kids to the freshman dorms to show them where they're living and show them, like, hey, this is, where you're going to live your freshman year. And then throughout the visit, you're going to show them this is where you're going to live after your freshman year and how you can move up and obviously eat some, eat some of that calf food right there. That's pretty good. I mean, it's every time I'm eating it, the calf's fire, straight up fire.
How many times you eating there?
A lot, Coach. A lot.
Okay.
And then usually after that, show them the campus, show them the weight room. And the big thing we do is like obviously position stuff. Like coaches are going to talk to their kids. But the other thing is, Coach Burns does a good job of talking about the academic structure that he set up here and doing a good job of explaining that to them and the parents, player panel. And then usually after all that, we have the kids go check out the locker room where their jerseys are hanging up, name tags, and then the pictures that they took, we have them kind of printed out, like maybe their best picture or whatever. We have it printed out for them in their locker. And then we have a slideshow on our TV that's in the locker room going on with music usually, showing the kids all the pictures that were taken. And then depends on, season-wise, Jordan Lester does a good job of helping us out. We'll be able to take the kids after here to the football stadium. And then usually on our video board, when the kids are in the presidential suite or we're walking out onto the field, we'll have the kids as pictures from the day on the video board, just on a constant reel. So you kind of get that big time feel. Because I think it's important to make these kids, we always say we make the big time where you are. And then obviously you want to stress that on the visit to these kids that, this is not just a normal college visit. This is going to be big time. We care about you. And, hopefully you see that in the effort of our visit. And all of us coaches are involved. And I'll tell you this is like, for a lot of these kids or for anybody who watches this, Coach Benavidez runs the college or runs the tour. Mm-hmm. I don't know how many coaches probably, they're sure there's some, so don't freak out on me if somebody is like, I run it and I'm a head coach, but he's one of the few coaches I know that has run a college tour visit. And I think that stands out to parents and to the recruits.
Yeah, for sure. One last question. I don't want to keep you too long.
I ain't got nothing to do, my man.
Well, I just got one more because that's all I got written down left for you. So when you get a big recruit that you've been talking to a lot, you really like the film, they got everything on paper, good dude, what's that feeling like when you get that guy to come play for you and it turns out well?
It's exciting. I mean, you yell, you scream. I probably reach my Coach Burns of excitement of where I'm yelling, losing my mind a little bit. But you're excited because you get to know a young man and you're bringing in a quality young man to your program that's not going to just contribute athletically, but it's going to contribute academically and socially. And then that's kind of what you want is you want to bring kids in when they fit that mold and they're going to help you win on Saturdays. There's nothing more exciting about that. And then the next step after you getting them, you have to kind of come back down to earth and realize, hey, now I got him. Now I need to make sure he shows up for camp, right? Because that's the biggest thing is it doesn't matter what level a kid could kind of back out. So you have to do a really good job of kind of still constantly recruiting them and making sure they show up. But it's exciting because, again, I'm sure you can attest, recruiting wise, we're recruiting all the time. And, we brought some kids in here that have kind of helped change the culture. And I think you guys have bought into what, Coach Benavidez wants to do. And with some of the new blood, it's gelled pretty well. And I think a lot of people can see that, we've kind of made a turn. Now it's just kind of having to put the work in off the field to go kind of get some of these wins.
Yeah, we talked about earlier when it was me, Logan, Cam, Nick. We were talking about how the culture's changed around here, and it's so evident just with the people you are with every day. One of the big things we talked about was how guys, senior to freshman, are communicating. It doesn't matter who you are, what you're doing. You play, you don't play. It doesn't matter. Everybody's just hanging out. It's just hanging out with the fellas all the time, and I think that attests to what you guys are doing as coaches, and it's really appreciated by us as much as we probably don't say it, but it's noticed. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, hey, you guys are doing a good job because I heard you guys went to the volleyball game the other night. We're heckling people, and then the other team had all these mistakes. So, I mean, you guys are doing a good job getting after people and supporting other programs, which is a big time. Yeah,
that's something, Coach Benny kind of tells us to do, support everybody else because they'll come support you, and I think that's also something that's changed. The cool thing is, when we all show up, we get benefits from it too. So, get a little encouragement. But, Coach, I really appreciate you having this conversation with me. It was a great time. Hopefully we can get you back on here soon.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to add?
Nah, man. Whenever you want me on the pod, I'll be on the pod.
Hell yeah. Sounds good, Coach. All right. We'll talk to you.
See ya.
We are back with one of my favorite segments. We got Logan here in the back, Cam here to my left. We are here with 5 questions with Cam. Cam, we're going to play a little Are You Smarter Than a Fifth Grader?
I'd
A
hope
little
so.
Personal Foul podcast spin on only 5 questions, okay?
All right.
We're going to take this quiz. We got the BuzzFeed. This is called the 5th grade quiz, okay? You are a senior in college taking this, okay?
I really hope I'm smarter than a 5th grader.
Question number 1. What is the longest river in the world?
The Nile.
All right. We got the Nile. I think that's correct. The Nile. Correct. How many bones are you born with? The options are around 270, around 300, around 180, around 220.
Can you use a cheat? Like actual? No.
No. There's 5 questions.
yeah.
5 questions.
Come on.
Oh,
On the
dude,
fly.
I don't get
5.
it. 180.
Around 180. Around 200. I would have gotten that wrong too. Okay, we got a little math.
10 seconds.
All right, you got 64.9
Yeah.
plus 98.6. What is the total?
$164.7.
164.7. 163.
I was pressured.
Right, you are now for 3. Oh my gosh. Who is the Greek god/goddess of the hearth and home? I
Think
don't even
about
know
this.
what hearth means, but who is this Greek?
The H one, Hestia.
All right.
Oh!
All right.
Give me some.
All right, Cam. Your last question. Oh my. Which sentence is grammatically correct? I'll read them for you, and then you'll decide. My sister and me went skiing. I have visited Niagara Falls last weekend. Anna and Pat are married. He has been together for 20 years. My mom and I bought ice cream.
I'm gonna go with me and my sister.
That was
Or-
quick.
Yeah.
You sure?
Oh, hold on. I'm not. Language arts isn't my strong suit here.
What?
Are you sure? That's your final answer. This is for a 60%.
Yeah.
That was going to be...
2 out of 5?
2 out of 5.
Let's see if we can find another one for you, because that one... All right, 5th grade quiz for kids.
Oh.
Let's go science. Maybe.
Science rules.
Animals. 5th grade quiz. Okay, take assessment. Start full assessment. Cam, this is going to be something for you. Okay, wait. What is
Whoa.
Oh, I can't even read this. Okay, so we have... Oh, what? I don't even know what this means. Okay,
What's that one?
this one's a little tough.
This is biology.
I don't know.
is not-
5th graders are learning this?
There's no.
I don't
was
remember
not
this from
learning
the
this in
5th grade.
5th grade.
Okay, we will do... Oh my, these are plants. That was in animals? What? Hold on, we're going to look up...
This has to be European.
Whoa.
Yeah, this might be for...
They're a lot more advanced than, average Americans.
Can you pass a 5th grade quiz? Let's start. Okay.
There we go.
Oh,
Scroll down.
scroll down. Is that where it is? I think I'm supposed to be hearing something. Oh, no. Okay. Which of the following words are pairs? Which of the following word pairs are antonyms? All right, you have smartphone and computer, good and bad, speedy and fast, volcano and earthquake.
Smartphone and computer?
Final answer.
Yes.
Yeah. The correct answer is good and bad.
Dude, antonyms ain't the same. That's how I always thought.
Antonyms are opposites. Okay. Which of the following is not one of the Great Lakes? Okay. Lake Michigan, Lake Huron, Lake Superior, and Lake Champlain.
I don't know this.
You're from Ohio, bro.
I'm down south. I'm going Superior.
Oh my
No.
Wrong. It's Champlain. All right. All right. Which present-day country would you most likely find the ancestors of the Aztec people? Mexico, China, Uganda, or Argentina?
Mexico.
Hey,
There we go. There we go. That's a start. That was quick. All right. Which of the following is a primary source? A movie about Ben Franklin, Ben Franklin's diary, a textbook chapter about Ben Franklin, a biography of Ben Franklin.
A biography.
It's going to be wrong again. It's going to be Ben Frank's diary, a primary source. Oh my God. Oh my God. Which, I only got like 2 more questions left in me before I lose it. Which of the following countries straddles 2 continents? United Kingdom, United States, Korea, or Russia?
Scroll down. Korea.
Korea. Russia is the answer. I would have gotten that wrong too. Okay. What is true about parallel lines? They form right angles. They intersect. They form isosceles triangles, or they never touch.
They never touch.
There you
Boom.
go.
Sniper. Let's go till you get 5 questions right. How about that?
Yeah. I like
We're at
that.
2 right now. Okay.
We're
5 in a row.
We're not looking too hot.
No. Just 5. We got 2 out of 6 so far. What color do you get if you mix red and blue? Your options.
Purple.
Okay. We're
There
on a
we
run.
go. There
We're
we
on a
go.
run. We're on a run. Which of the following contains a prepositional phrase? I'm not even gonna do that because
Yeah.
I don't know the answer. We're gonna skip that one.
Oh.
Nailed it. Okay. Which of the following planets is closest to the sun? Your options: Neptune, Earth, Jupiter, or Mercury.
Hold on.
A lot of thought going into this.
I'm going Mercury.
Mercury, final answer is correct. All right, Cam. You need one more. Although he wasn't born there, Christopher Columbus set sail from this country.
Spain.
Boom.
Good job.
That's
Cam.
5.
Good job,
Cam,
Give me some.
I'm proud of you. That was good. Fellas, that's going to be it for episode 3. We're going to be back. Hopefully, are we planning to do an episode over spring break?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we'll do an episode over spring
In the
break.
basement.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It'll be great. We're going to do an episode over spring break for you guys.
Chiller.
Yep. We're going to be chilling. But that's it for episode 3 of the Personal Foul Podcast. Appreciate you guys for watching. Appreciate Coach Garth and Coach Byers for being on the show. And we will see you guys soon. Later, fellas.